Speaking of French, we have now made it to Kaskaskia, which was founded in 1703 by no other than the French. Don't mind me, guy, just a random person from Michigan driving through. I was really impressed with St. Genevieve as I strolled through. It felt like I was in Europe. For this video, I go to 3 towns. This area is about a little more than an hour south of St. Louis. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. Can you believe that this tiny village used to be the capital of Illinois? What's even crazier is that it sits west of the Mississippi River, while the rest of Illinois lies east of the Mississippi River. From Kaskaskia, I go to St. Genevieve, Missouri, which was the first European settlement established in the state of Missouri and is a really neat touristy-like village to see. Before we get to all of that, I begin the video in St. Mary, which originally was built along the Mississippi River before Mother Nature changed the course of the mighty Mississippi. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen this already, there's a link down below that shows you an interactive map on all of the places that I've made videos on. It's really easy to use. All you have to do is click on the link to the map and then click on a pin that will take you to a link of said place. I start this video south of St. Mary in Perry County. There's going to be a lot of driving through the sticks and backwoods in this video. In order to get a true redneck experience while watching this video, just pretend that you're in the passenger seat with some Mountain Dew and Cheetos. That should do the trick. If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. You can always keep up with the real time that it takes me to drive in the lower left corner of the screen. If I go too fast for you, or if you think that I'm going too slow, you can always adjust the playback speed by selecting the gear icon if you're watching on PC, or by selecting the 3-dotted menu if you're watching on a mobile device. Isn't YouTube great? Also really quick, as if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoy this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on my channel. Videos on other places like in this video can be found in my Tourist Town playlist, my USA Small Towns playlist, my Mississippi River playlist, my Missouri playlist, or in my Illinois playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. It'll be a while before I get to St. Mary, so, as I suggested, might as well sit back and enjoy your Walmart goodies. Or, you can always skip ahead to the part that you might want to see with the timestamps that I provided below. As the water tower clearly states, we are now in St. Mary. St. Mary was founded early on by the French. Throughout this video, you'll learn that the French had a strong influence on this area. Usually in the small Midwestern towns, you'll see a strong German influence, so it's unique to see a strong French influence outside of the bigger cities in the US. St. Mary, however, never really grew to be much. It was originally built right along the Mississippi River. However, over time, the river has changed its course due to Mother Nature. The town hit a peak population of only 722 in 1920, and today it's home to only 346. And now it's time to head towards Kaskaskia. On the right shortly, you'll see a makeshift sign that says Illinois State Line. I think it goes without saying that we're driving over what used to be the original path of the Mississippi River, or at least it was when Illinois became a state on December 3, 1818. Today, the old channel is a bayou that will often get flooded by the river. This is now known as Kaskaskia Island. A couple of major flooding events in the 1800s destroyed much of the remnants of the original town that was Kaskaskia, one in 1844 and another in 1881. Those flooding events are also what caused the mighty Mississippi to change its course. This isn't the only place where this has happened either, as if you look at a map of the Mississippi River in Illinois south of St. Louis, you'll see several other stretches where the state boundary doesn't match up with the path of the Mississippi. Today, levees like what you see on the right protect Kaskaskia Island, which is mostly farmland. The river, however, can still cause some major damage, as in 1993 a major flood was too much for the levees to handle. During the flood of 1993, water reached the tops of most homes in Kaskaskia. In 1990, the U.S. Census counted 32 people living in the village of Kaskaskia, whereas in the year 2000, only 9 people were left. In 2010, the census count was 14, but today only 13 people live in Kaskaskia. To the left is a small unincorporated community of Dozaville. There's not much there other than a few mobile homes amongst a few blocks of grid streets. Honestly, I couldn't have been here on a better day. There's a long stretch of land that follows the Mississippi River from the Metro East region of St. Louis to areas south of here, and this area is known as the American Bottom. It's a long strip of flat land that follows the Mississippi River and is surrounded on both sides by a line of bluffs. This view and other views later in this video illustrates the landscape very well. Now, before we get to Kaskaskia, what you're about to see is actually a reflection of Illinois as a whole. The real reason why people no longer live here is because of the high Illinois taxes. Illinois has the second highest property taxes in the country. Okay, I really couldn't help myself there. That was a bad joke, an inside joke at that, as I've made many people salty in the comment sections of some of my Illinois videos, as I've stated those facts over and over throughout many of my small town Illinois videos. Obviously, the high Illinois taxes are not the reason why people don't live in Kaskaskia anymore. Honestly, I love the French-style names in this area. You wouldn't expect it in a rural area like this. There's a few towns on the other side of the Mississippi with French names, a few in Missouri as well, but this road, La Grande Rue, I like it. La Grande Rue is actually a vineyard in Burgundy. Speaking of French, we have now made it to Kaskaskia, which was founded in 1703 by no other than the French. It was French Jesuits who settled this area, as they were on a mission to convert Native Americans towards being Catholic. Over time in the early 1700s, more French Canadians came down for fur trading, to farm the area, and for lead mining on the other side of the river in Missouri. As Kaskaskia continued to grow, it became the capital of what was known as Upper Louisiana at the time. In 1707, it was said that Kaskaskia had 2,200 people. In 1763, the French ceded Illinois country to the British. At that time, some of the French in Kaskaskia moved to the west side of the river and settled in St. Genevieve, Missouri, which we'll get to later in the video. Nonetheless, Kaskaskia continued to be a center point, and in 1809, it was the capital of the Illinois Territory. When Illinois officially became a state in 1818, Kaskaskia was still the capital, only for 1 year though, as in 1819 the capital moved to Vandalia, Illinois. Stay tuned for that video. Today, this is what's left of Kaskaskia. You have a few historical buildings that have been well kept up with, a house that's been raised 15 feet or so off the ground, and a few other homes, but mostly it's just open grass fields. It's more so like the town is an outdoor museum with historical buildings and a church that still functions as a church to this day. One day, I don't think there's going to be anyone living here anymore. All it's going to take is another great flood to scare everyone away from ever living here again, in my opinion. Hopefully when that happens though, the buildings here can continue to be well maintained, and I'd actually be surprised if they weren't. On the right is the church that sticks out more than any other building in this community. This is the Immaculate Conception Church, which was built French style in 1843. However, in 1894, it was moved and rebuilt at the location that it sits today. The church altar dates back to 1736. In the flood of 1993, the passionate locals did all of the hard work necessary to restore the church to the best of their capabilities, and during non-pandemic years, the church along with all of the other buildings are open for tours. This is the building that holds the Kaskaskia Bell, or the Liberty Bell of the West. The bell was given to the Catholic Church of the West by King Louis V. In 1778, George Rogers Clark took Kaskaskia from the British, and the bell was rung in celebration. From that point on, it was known as the Liberty Bell of the West. The bell sits inside this building, which is pretty well kept up with. However, it was damaged in the floods of 1973 and 1993 and can no longer be rung. Inside the building is also a United States flag with 21 stars, as Illinois was the 21st state of the Union, and, in case you forgot, Kaskaskia was the capital when Illinois became a state in 1818. It was also a city of over 7,000 residents. However, the great floods over the years have washed away nearly all of the relics from the original town. Now, we're back on La Grande Rue, heading north, and we'll see the rest of Kaskaskia Island, and we'll also see the scenery along the way to St. Genevieve. On top of a small levee currently, but this road has extremely loose gravel and you can only go so fast. no markings out this way, but right around here we cross back into Missouri. On this side of Kaskaskia Island, there's not really an easily definitive bayou or creek where the original river channel was. It's more so a tree line. Off of the levee top we go and down onto a straight road that stretches the river flat and takes us to the main highway. The gravel is still really loose. Don't mind me, guy. Just a random person from Michigan driving through.
Familiar. Sometimes it's hard to go. shoulders. I'm daring and I'm bold. The way ahead is open. Oh, oh, oh. Why it's only the beginning. I'm feeling like I'm home free. I spread my wings and go. Oh, 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 oh. Into the wild. Into the wild I go. It's a beautiful venture. Leaving the world I've known. I wanna break free. I wanna dive deep into where I've never been. I wanna fly high. Yeah. Into the wild, into the wild I go. It's a beautiful venture, leaving the world unknown. I wanna break free, I wanna dive deep into where I've never been. I wanna fly high, yeah.
That took forever, as you could literally only go so fast on that loose gravel road. You could say that was just another piece of flat farmland, but with the bluffs in the far horizon and with it being a perfectly clear sunny day, that was a nice drive. Now it's on to St. Genevieve, and you can tell that this highway was built right along the line of bluffs that surround the river flat. Oh yes, and here we are, St. Genevieve, Missouri. The town is home to 4,400 people, and the population count has basically stayed at 4,400 ever since 1960. St. Genevieve County as a whole is home to 18,000 people, and the median household income for the county is $60,000 per year. Only 9% of the county residents live in poverty, and 20% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The median value of owner-occupied housing units here is $166,000, and the crime is basically non-existent. The place also has excellent schools, and if you're about that small town life, this isn't a bad place to be. The worst thing about the area is trying to find a job or trying to find entertainment options. To the left is the Beckett-Ribot House, and just past it is the Beauvais-Armoureux House. Both houses are actually museums that offer experiences that illustrate what it was like to live in post-colonial St. Genevieve. As we head through town, we'll drive through the St. Genevieve Historic District, which offers one of the best collections of French architecture in the United States. St. Genevieve is considered to be the oldest town in Missouri. St. Genevieve was built in 1750 and was the capital of both Spanish Louisiana and French Louisiana. The St. Genevieve National Historic Park was officially listed as a part of the U.S. National Park System in October of 2020. The town was originally located about 3 miles south of where it is today, but as you can imagine, it was wiped away by a flood in 1785. I mean, we were just 3 miles south of town just a little bit ago, and you could see that it was just a giant floodplain. Where it sits today is on higher ground and is away from flood risk. The town has buildings that have survived over 200 years. This is a great place to visit if you're interested in learning about what it was like to live a French colonial style of life back in the day. I was really impressed with St. Genevieve as I strolled through. It felt like I was in Europe. I would be interested in coming back during a non-pandemic year when places are open. By the way, for St. Genevieve, I'm not going to mention every single building and the story behind them. If you're angry at me for not mentioning the story behind each and every single building in town, get a life, Jenkins, and come here yourself to see the place if you want to learn more. I literally had a guy comment about my downtown Chicago video and how I left out so much. Well, yeah. It would take hours to explain in detail the entire story on every single building in certain places, so if that's you while watching this video, just chill out, okay? And enjoy the elevator music and the occasional comment. On the left here is the Felix Valley House, which was built in 1818. Just like many of the other sites, this one is open for tours and will take you back in time to see what living a French colonial lifestyle was like. Gonna do my best at this, but this style of architecture is called Patouge en terre, or post in ground. I hope I said that right. If not, go ahead and blast me in the comment section below. This is the Oris Theater, and to this day is still in use, probably due to the amount of tourists that come through. Gotta love the old Art Deco theaters, even in this French colonial tourist town. This is St. Genevieve High School, home of the Dragons. Economically, I think it goes without saying that this town relies a lot on tourism. Agriculture is big here too, obviously. There's also a couple of limestone quarries here. Entertainment-wise, a new water park was just built, which is a great appeal to the sizable amount of Mountain Dew drinking hillbillies that occupy this region. Not at all sure what this building is, but it's a triangle. Well, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on my channel. Videos on other places like Kaskaskia and St. Genevieve can be found in my Missouri playlist, my Illinois playlist, my USA Small Towns playlist, or my Tourist Towns playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. We'll see you next time. Peace!